Okay, welcome back. In this video, we are going to be taking Harry Potter's Triwizard Tournament and putting non-Harry Potter wizards into it to see how they fare. You know, who succeeds, who wins, who falls. That's what we're figuring out. So, just like the movie, which is titled Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, we have ourselves a very large goblet of fire. So, in this goblet are wizards. And we are going to be putting our hand into the goblet, just like the magic did in the movie, and randomly choosing 3 of these wizards. So if you look on your screen, there should be a list of all the wizards that put their name into the Goblet of Fire. So let's see which ones we get for this video. We're jumping right in. All right. Let's get a good one. Let's get a good one. Oh, man, I'm going. All right, here we go. Here we go. We have, oh, yeah. We have Gandalf the Grey. I cannot make this up. We have the OG wizard coming in to this Triwizard Tournament. Let's see who he's up against. All right. Let's get another good one. Here we go. Okay. A magical powerhouse. We have Raistlin Majere. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that last name, but Raistlin from Dragonlance is coming into this. If you don't know what he can do, we'll get into it. All right, one more. These are 2 very classic wizards. I'm hoping we can get some like non-classic ones to kind of shake things up a little bit. So let's see what we got. All right. Oh my god, okay. This is a good one. Doctor Strange from Marvel. You know, you might say it's the MCU version. We're definitely not going with the most OP version of him from like the redacted comics, but we're just going to go with like the average, what you would typically think of as Doctor Strange. And we're doing that for most of the people here, but really the only one that has a lot of different variants out of these 3 is Doctor Strange. So just think of him as like somewhere in the middle of his worst and best moment. But that is not all. In Harry Potter, the Goblet of Fire, the mad-eyed moody guy, I think his name was Crouch or something, he put Harry Potter's name in the Goblet of Fire and programmed it magically in a way where Harry Potter would get cheated into the game. And just like Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, I'm going to be cheating someone into this game. And honestly, I don't know who I'm going to pick. I think I'm just going to go crazy and go with someone that's very different than these 3, just so we have an interesting competition here. We don't have any anime, so I'm going with Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. I know a little bit about him, but there's only so much you can really know. I mean, it's a movie, and he has powers in it, and that's it. So, I mean, maybe there's something out there I don't know about, but I think in the end he's going to be an interesting one to throw in. Let me find his real quick. So I'm gonna edit it. We'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. So on the screen, you are going to see the complete guide to how we're going to run this thing. The 4 wizards we have and all of the tasks and how they are scored. I'll kind of walk you through it as we get to it, but we're going to start right out of the gate with the first task I'm calling the dragon. But in essence, each wizard is going to be assigned a dragon. In this case, we're just going to all have them go up against the Hungarian Horntail, the one that Harry Potter went up against, just to make it simpler. There doesn't seem to be that big of a difference. They just have slightly different demeanors. In the end, I think it's not going to change the outcome. So we have the dragon, and the wizards are tasked with stealing a magical egg from this dragon. And as you know, dragons don't like things to be stolen from them. So this dragon is going to fight back. All right, but let's get right into the first one. I'm grabbing the first one here. Let's just start with, why don't we just start with Doctor Strange? Okay, Doctor Strange from Marvel. So let me reorder this a little bit, actually. Let's go with Strange at the top. Sure, that works. Okay, so Strange is going first. what is he going to do against a dragon? And how are we scoring this? Good question. So first, the handling of the dragon is going to be scored out of 10. How do they handle it? The speed in which he accomplishes the task in getting the egg will be scored. And the third category I called flair, but in the movie, I mean, it's kind of like a catch-all category for just anything else they want to score the wizard on. So if a wizard does do something especially interesting or creative or brave or, I don't know, it looks cool, they get bumped up on the scoreboard here. So that, if that makes sense, it's a little bit of a strange category, but you'll understand. So getting into Doctor Strange against the dragon. Doctor Strange is a very defensive wizard. So he is going to be coming at this probably from a defensive viewpoint. A lot of his spells include shields, portaling, which is, kind of a movement ability. A lot of way he restrains people is through like his magical strings. I'm not exactly sure what he calls them, but he can whip people, he can tie them up, that sort of thing. He can fly with his cape of flying, or whatever it's called, cloak of flying. I'm giving it a D&D title here. And that's what he can do. So he's probably going to have to outmaneuver the dragon. I mean, I know he is immensely powerful. He could probably get rid of this dragon if he wanted to, but I don't think he's going to do that. He's not someone that gets into the habit of just removing creatures or people from existence or from where they're supposed to be. So he's probably just going to get this egg in some like maneuverable way. So what I'm picturing this as is maybe the dragon throwing some fire at him. He's going to whip that jaw closed with his strings. If that holds, I'm not really sure, but it should. But the dragon is resistant to some magic, so it's not going to really be able to be transfixed, or maybe transfigured would be the right word. And then it's not going to really be able to get mind controlled or anything like that. Not that Doctor Strange typically does it. So in the end, because he's going to be a little bit more defensive, I'm not going to say he's handling the dragon very well. I'm going to just give him middle of the road. He's not doing anything especially interesting. His way of getting this egg is going to be defend, shift the battle, pick up the egg, and then dip, perhaps with a portal. So is it fast? He could be really fast. But here's something about the egg that we need to know, and this is true in the Harry Potter Triwizard Tournament. You can't magically manipulate the egg. You have to just pick it up. So he can't just throw a portal down under the egg and have it fall into his hands. If that was possible, then Harry Potter would have just Akio'd the egg and not his broom, and it would have been done. In fact, everyone would have probably done that. So you can't do that. But that's really the only two big rules here, is the dragon's resistant to magic and the egg is completely resistant to magic. So he's going to have to pick it up. So that's why I'm going to give him a speed of probably average as well. Nothing too crazy. Man, and honestly, he's kind of middle of the road with flair as well. I mean, he's not doing anything very interesting. In fact, I'm going to make his flair probably below average too. Man, I think I might bump him up slightly. I'll give him like I'll give him a 7 on handling, just because it's going to be pretty precise in how he handles the dragon, and the fact that he probably could just kill the dragon or make the dragon disappear, and he probably won't do that, is impressive. So I'm gonna bump him up. All right, let's move on to Gandalf. So this is Gandalf the Grey, which is obviously very different than Gandalf the White, but at the same time not that different in this circumstance. He's gonna have similar abilities, just less powerful. I'm not going to get into the difference because that's not what this video is about. But Gandalf the Grey is a very tough character to discern in terms of what he is able to do. He comes from Tolkien's magic system, which is very soft. By soft, I mean it's vague, it's mysterious, it's intentionally not given to the reader or the viewer to kind of invoke that sense of awe, the way magic would feel to people in the world. So, with that said, this is what I have noticed Gandalf to be able to do. So he works a lot with fire and light. He seems to be kind of a shining beacon of hope for everyone he's around, and that's both metaphorical and also physical. He also... I don't know if this is how it works because no one does except Tolkien. But when he says something like "you shall not pass," I get Skyrim vibes, Dragonborn vibes, where he is not only saying something, but the magic that he is employing is attempting to make that a reality. So when he said, "you shall not pass" at the Balrog, I believe that was literal magic bouncing up against the power of the Balrog. And it did work, right? The Balrog did not pass where he said it would not pass. So I think he has a way of kind of speaking his magic into existence, and he doesn't necessarily have to use words. But if I were to completely summarize, Gandalf is, in essence, a magician or a wizard of aura, of presence. When he wants to do something, he takes control of the situation and he becomes an immovable object. So what I am picturing for Gandalf is he is going to start this Triwizard Tournament out with a bang. He is going to come in swinging. He is going to walk up to this dragon and perhaps telekinetically block any fire that comes, and he is going to raise his staff into the air, and he's going to say, "I shall pass," and he is going to just push that dragon back with his sheer force of will, right? His aura is going to grow so large that there isn't room enough for this dragon to be in the ring with him. So he's going to push this dragon back, pick up the egg, and the dragon is just going to feel bullied, but that's because it was. So when it comes to handling, I'm giving him a 10. I mean, the dragon is not manhandling Gandalf. Like, it's Gandalf, right? He is. I know a lot of you are probably, if you know a lot about Gandalf and Lord of the Rings, you're thinking like, well, he's an angel. Like, obviously, he's going to be bodying this kind of low-level dragon. We're not talking about Smaug over here. But this is Gandalf in his mortal form, and if he were to, for whatever reason, become his angelic Mire form, then he's out of the tournament, and which means he loses. So that's cheating. That's not going to work here. But it doesn't matter. His physical form is powerful enough, I think, against this very basic dragon. The Hungarian Horntail is, I can tell, very stubborn, very prickly, aggressive, but it's still a pretty small and not very smart dragon compared to other dragons. So it's it's a Gandalf dub there. Now his speed, I mean, Gandalf will probably get it done pretty quick. I mean, he's just gonna, I shall pass this thing and then get it done. So I'm gonna give him an 8. Even though he himself is not the fastest person, he's not slow when he wants to be fast. But he's not the Flash over here. So I'm gonna give him an 8. I know it might seem like it's weird to give Gandalf more speed than Doctor Strange, but I don't think Doctor Strange would feel the pressure to go fast. Gandalf, I think he would by necessity need to just deal with the dragon and get it done. He's not a dodgy or a blocky sort of wizard. He's a get the job done, do or don't guy. So, yeah, especially when it's just him and he's not manipulating someone else to accomplish things on their own. Flair, that's tough. I'm giving him average, and I will explain why. There is going to be a very short amount of time where people are going to be awestruck. They're going to be like, whoa, who is this guy? He is him. And then it's going to be over. And there's not going to really be much else to watch. So he's going to get some points for being really cool for a moment, but not a lot of points for making it not really a show, right? Harry Potter flying around the arena in the Goblet of Fire gave him a lot of flair points. Gandalf isn't doing that. So let's move on. All right, we got Howl Pendragon from that movie, Howl's Moving Castle, right? So we got an anime character here, but it's not an anime show, so we don't have anything like super broken. There's no like crazy canon lore to go off of. But he does have some pretty cool powers. And from what I can tell from the movie, his magic is pretty chaotic. It's unpredictable. It's linked to his emotions. And it's kind of hard to pin down in terms of a hard magic system, which is true for most wizards. But from what I can tell, his main ability that's going to be relevant for pretty much this entire tournament is his ability to transform himself into other things, mostly animals. And they don't have to just be like a bird. They can be like mixtures of animals. Like in the movie, he's this giant flying beast that doesn't really resemble any one animal, right? So I think that's exactly what he's going to employ here. He's not going to be relying on his charisma. It's a dragon, and it's a mean dragon too. He's not going to be relying on any like enchantments or curses probably. He's probably just simply going to grow some wings and outmaneuver this dragon in the air just like Harry Potter did. I think he's going to have the most similarities with Harry Potter for this specific part of the tournament. So he's going to fly around. The dragon's going to chase him. He's a quick, nimble flyer, and the dragon is bigger and is going to be just having trouble keeping up with him, and eventually he's going to outmaneuver this dragon and get the egg, just like Harry Potter. Enough said. So with that, handling of the dragon, not great. Not great at all. I'm giving him a 2. And the reason being, he doesn't handle the dragon at all. His entire strategy here is going to be avoiding the dragon. So I'm not giving him a 0 because, like, I guess his flying, aerial movements give him a couple points, but that's all I'm giving him for that. His speed is going to be average. He is really fast, and maybe if he just beelined it, he would have a chance, but I don't think the dragon's going to let him just fly at the egg. He's going to have to get that dragon moving, get the dragon to stop puppy guarding the egg, and then he's going to get the egg, which is going to take time. But it's not going to be super slow, so I'm going to give him a 5. Flair is going to be a 10. It's going to be a 10 because who doesn't like an aerial chase? There's a reason that J.K. Rowling made that how Harry Potter solved it. It's fun, okay? It's fun. So people are going to like watching it. Howl also just has that charisma, right? He's got that stat maxed out. People are going to like him, and they're going to want to score him high on Flair. I mean, he is the embodiment of Flair. I mean, just watch Howl's Moving Castle. Like, he will get immensely upset if his hair gets messed up, right? Like, he is dripped out. Let's just say that. So, we're moving on. We have Raistlin Majere. I'm just calling him Raistlin because I have no idea how to say his last name. We have Raistlin from the Dragonlance series. So Dragonlance is a series of books. There might have been a TV show, but in essence, it's D&D. It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's just its own specific world and story. And what we have with Raistlin is your classic D&D wizard. I mean, he's going to have all the spells you can think of that a D&D wizard would have. In terms of his personality, he is very cold, borderline a villain. In fact, I would even say he's over the line on a villain. Like, he is a villain sometimes. He has people that love him and he once loved, and he has very easily, in certain circumstances, sacrificed those people for his benefit. He is cold. He does not care. And then he's also very smart. He's got high intelligence. Wisdom comes later, but he's definitely smart. But what's really important with him is he is physically weak. He is a glass cannon if I have ever seen one. So he has got major magic, but if you punch him, he's out. So he's going to have to make sure this dragon does not lay a tail on him. So what's Raistlin going to do? He's going to walk up to this dragon and absolutely murder this dragon. Like, he is going to legitimately kill the dragon, which I'm realizing is a good thing we have him going last. I guess technically we have 4 dragons, but he's killing the dragon, which means on Flair, 2. The only points I'm giving him for Flair is because he is going to kill. He's going to be a little scary. He's going to pull out some some major spells like, Fireball, Cone of Cold. I don't even know. Like maybe not level 9 spells, but some high level Dungeons and Dragons spells. And this dragon will run away or die trying, right? So handling of the dragon, 10. Absolute 10. He is going to body that dragon. And he's going to do it pretty fast, too. I mean, he is not him. I mean, if he casts haste on himself, turn 1, then he'll be fast. So I'll give him an 8. He's going to be pretty quick. Okay. So let's see what we got next. Man, you know what? I'm bumping him down a little bit on handling because killing the dragon is poor handling, actually. You know what I mean? Like, why would you kill the dragon? Like, everyone would be like, what the heck, dude? Like, why did you? That was unnecessary. You know what I mean? No, I'm actually going to give him, I'm giving him a 6. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're giving him a 6. Like, I just don't like the fact that he would kill the dragon. And he absolutely would kill the dragon. It's just not cool. All right, moving on. Moving on to the second task, the lake. So, if you're not familiar, briefly, the lake challenge is when the contestants and the wizards have to go into a lake and retrieve a loved one of some sort, or a friend, or whatever you want to say. They called it a treasure, but it was like an actual person that will die if they don't go to the bottom of this super deep and treacherous lake and save them, right? So that's what they have to do. One thing that helps them is because they all achieved the dragon challenge, they all got the egg would give them a hint. And because these are all like very intelligent people, I'm going to assume that they all can figure out that they need to put this egg underwater. So, I mean, there's nothing straightforward about it, but they'd figure it out. If Harry Potter figured it out, these like ancient people are figuring it out. So, anyway, they're all going to get prep time. I'm giving them prep time for this one challenge, and that's the only challenge they get prep time. So let's talk about what would happen if they had prep time. Strange is coming into this knowing it's underwater. What he doesn't know is that there are mer people that are going to be, making sure the rules are followed, and there's these little squid goblin things. Don't ask me what they're called. I have no idea. But they are exactly like squid goblins. They just want to hurt you, and they're annoying, and they're little, and they're not that threatening, but in a high number they can be. So anyway, Strange doesn't necessarily know all of that until he uses anything resembling the Time Stone, the Eye of Agamotto, right? So I'm not really giving him the ability to just control time in all of these challenges because he doesn't always have that ability, and it's broken, but also it's not always a core ability of his. I mean, time manipulation is kind of his trademark, but if he had it in every fight, he would never lose anything, right? So even the writers in Marvel don't give him that power all the time. So we're giving it to him now, and that's it, when he has prep time. So he's going to sit there crisscross applesauce and do the whole funky, see 1,000 possibilities, and he's going to know exactly how to get this lake challenge done. He is going to have rehearsed it. He knows every nook and cranny of this lake. He knows how things are scored when it's done. He should probably get 10, 10, 10 on all the categories here. But maybe that's not possible. So the way we're scoring it is if you get the hostage, you get 10 points. If you get more than one hostage, I'll give you an extra 5 points. But other than that, it's 0. Speed is speed, and bravery is kind of like flair, where it's like, what did you show us? What effort did you put in? Like, Harry Potter got extra points because, one, he saved multiple people, but, I mean, he gave it his all, right? I mean, he came out of that not unscathed. Let's just say that. So that's how we're scoring it. So Strange is definitely getting a hostage. I mean, come on. I don't need to explain how he's getting a hostage. He's got portals. He's got spells where he can breathe underwater, and he already knows what will and will not work because he's rehearsed it a billion times. So he's getting a hostage. In fact, I'm going to give him extra points because he could probably get 2 if he wanted to, and he's a good guy, so he might do that. Speed is going to be as fast as you can go. I mean, he knows, again, he rehearsed it. He knows what's up. Bravery, he's getting an average. He wasn't scared by any means, but he's not going to be it's just going to be so easy for him that I don't think anyone's going to think he was especially brave. You know what I mean? So we're just giving him average on that. Gandalf. Oh, God. I'm trying to think, but Gandalf ain't completing this one. Like, listen, you might be thinking it's Gandalf. He can do anything. But can he, though? Right? Like, tell me something in, let's just say the movies. I mean, maybe you could find something in the, in the deep, dark lore of the Silmarillion or something. But tell me an ability Gandalf has shown us that would help him to navigate an underwater terrain. He doesn't have one. In fact, the only time there's really any substantial body of water in Lord of the Rings that I can remember is when they're trying to get into the mountains and that octopus thing attacks them, and they barely survived that, and they weren't even underwater. So was Gandalf there? I don't even know. I think he was opening the door or something. Either way, Gandalf has nothing to really use to go that deep underwater for that extended time. They have an hour to complete it. He's not going to be holding his breath for an hour. I mean, unless he doesn't need to breathe or something, which I don't know about. But considering I'm not aware of any of that, and neither are you probably, we're giving him a 0. I know it hurts. It hurts. Gandalf is not out of the running, but he's not getting a hostage from miles underwater. It's not happening. Maybe he could employ some sea life, but this is where things get interesting, because you have to ask, how do certain magic systems mash up? And when it comes to the Triwizard Tournament, when you put your name in that Goblet of Fire, you are signing a magical contract. And that contract says, if you back out after we've picked you, you don't get magic anymore. And it also says that my magic in the tournament overrides your magic, right? So yes, he could possibly employ some sort of sea life to help him, but the mer people are not helping him, and the squid goblins are not helping him, and that's just how it goes. So it's just not going to work, I don't think. And what sea life is there? And I didn't see any sea life in there besides maybe there was fish or something. They're not saving the hostage. It's a fish, right? It's not happening. Just like Gandalf doesn't employ the help of goblins or Uruk-hai or orcs in Lord of the Rings, he's not employing the creatures of this lake. So he's not getting a hostage, and for that reason, his speed is also 0. So that's a huge hit. I will say that is a huge hit in points. But his bravery, I'll give him a 10, because I know for a fact he ain't going to give up until that 1 hour mark hits and the tournament, or this phase of the tournament, is over. So we'll give him a 10. He's going to hold his breath for a while. Anyway, I know. I understand it's tough, but I really genuinely think that's how it goes. He's very powerful, but he's not a water dude. It's just not his place to be. He doesn't belong there. So that's just how it goes. Next, we got Howl. Howl is very versatile. If you watch the movie, Howl's Moving Castle, you never really know what he's going to do. And I don't think it's at all far-fetched to assume that he can become some form of aquatic creature, because he just becomes anything and everything in the movie. Okay, sorry, I just had to get some water there. So, Howl, he's becoming an aquatic creature, and he's diving in there, and he's rescuing a hostage because he's just that good, right? He can become anything he needs to be. I'm just going to give him that ability, and it's just going to be some version of the beast he was in the movie, but with fins instead of wings. So, is he getting a hostage? Yes. Is he getting multiple hostages? Honestly, I think he could. But I'm knocking down his speed substantially. If I'm giving him the extra points for hostage, because he's not getting 2 at once. He's probably going to grab one, do a bow, do a backflip, give a rose to one of the pretty little witches, and then he's going to dive back in and go get another hostage. So it's going to take him a while. He is very fast. So I'm going to give him an average of 5, but I'm not speeding him up. So that's it. Bravery, Oh man, yet again, I mean, he's gonna. This one's a little different. We're not judging it purely on like flair. It's more so like it's more so bravery. So I'm gonna give him average because again, he's not gonna seem like he's trying too hard. Okay, Raistlin. Now, Raistlin is a fragile man, right? But he's got a lot of spells, and if you know D&D, there are spells for going underwater. You got water breathing, right? So that alone is gonna help him immensely. He's yet again probably just gonna force his way through this, but you know for a fact he's not grabbing 2 hostages. He is grabbing 1 hostage to get the points, and then he's coming back. And so I'm giving him. I'm gonna say he's pretty slow. I mean, I know you can you can breathe water as a wizard, but he's not a druid. He's not going to turn into a dolphin or something. So he's going to have to swim this thing. So he's going at a 2. And then his bravery, no, 2. So that leaves us coming to the final phase of the tournament. And that is the maze. So you might be thinking, oh, Gandalf is screwed. You know, you might already think you know who won. But the points do not dictate the winner. They dictate who goes into the maze first, and second, and third, and last. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to reorder these people to see what order they're going into this maze at. So, I'm going to do some quick math. This is what we got going on. So, we have Strange entering this maze first. A little bit about the maze. The maze is both a physical maze, but it is also a mental maze. It is going to have illusions. It's going to be attacking you mentally. It's going to be trying to get you to not be yourself, make wrong decisions, get lost in a way that's more psychic, more metaphysical than it is getting lost physically, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean there's not plenty of physical obstacles. The hedges, they just move. And they move intelligently. They try to trap people. So you're going to have to outsmart that. And then there's also just like creatures and plant life in there that's going to be like grasping at you, trying to just get you to be incapacitated, right? It's going to try to stop you from completing the maze. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this maze, but the big one is the mental aspect. That's really what we're going to be testing for here. They can all probably get through any vines or whatever that comes at them, but can they overcome losing themselves, right? And how easily do they lose themselves? So let's start with Strange. Strange is kind of a middle ground character. I mean, he's been like that for the entire tournament. He has both a lot of ways, a lot of flaws, right? So he was egotistical from the start. He's gotten better, but he's still egotistical. And he's very cold and calculated. You know, he's definitely a math person rather than like a I don't know, social science person. So you know, there's ways in which he is flawed, but not all of those, you know, contribute to him losing himself. In fact, the fact that he's very logical and straight up in his way of thinking could help him here, because if they throw out an illusion that makes no sense, he might just be like, I'm in an illusory world, right? So he might be fine. But I think the fact that he kind of has a little bit of trauma and a little bit of like hardship that the maze could try to pull and bring back to the surface means he's probably going to lose himself for a little bit here. But I will say he's going to come back. So he's coming in with a massive advantage of going first. But the maze is going to throw him off. How much is it going to throw him off? Probably not. I don't know. Let's move on and kind of see how it goes. Howl. Oh gosh. Okay. Howl is coming in with an advantage, but he is getting demolished mentally. Howl is out of our 4 here, is the most mentally weak out of all of them, easily. Like I said earlier, if you insult his hair, if he's having a bad hair day, he just melts. And, you know, he becomes erratic. He becomes unpredictable. He makes bad decisions. And it's actually quite difficult to get him back to normal. And that's not even with magical manipulation going on in his mind. That's just normal him. So he's already got bipolar disorder. So it's not looking good for him. He's so quick. right? He's got a lot of power, a lot of potential, but he is getting wrecked mentally. Like, he is not making it to the end unless someone wants to be nice and help him out. Speaking of, our next person, Gandalf, would probably do that. So let's jump into Gandalf here. Gandalf is coming in with a little bit of a disadvantage. He's not a very quick person in the first place, not compared to the other ones here. Maybe quick compared to Raistlin, depending on whether Raistlin casts haste or not. But Gandalf is not going to be quick, but what he is going to be able to do is probably what the tortoise did against the hare in the timeless little fable there of the tortoise versus the hare. He is going to be able to slowly make his way through this maze and resist losing himself. This is where his angel form comes into play. While he is physically immortal right now, he has not lost his connection with his divine self. His mind is still divine. This maze may have very powerful mind manipulation, but there is nothing it is doing to make Gandalf lose himself. Not even the one ring tempted him, right? I guess it tempted him a little bit, but in fact, he knew, he was wise enough to know that if he did wear the ring, that would be very dangerous of him to do. So it's not like he can't be manipulated, right, by some sort of temptation or curse that this maze might try to employ on him, but he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna put that staff on the ground and say, "You shall not go into my head." Like, no, I shine this light. Darkness, go hide. You know, I am the light, right? He's gonna be the opposite of Batman. He's coming in here. He is gonna walk, you know, his robed up butt all the way down to the finish line. But what might stop him is these other contestants. They're going to be coming at him in a feral, mind-controlled state, and he's probably going to help him out. You know, he's not just going to, like, blow him to shreds and then go get his dub. He's probably going to help them. He's probably going to dispel whatever curse that they're under, and that goes for Strange and Howl. But that for that reason, like, I don't think Strange or Howl deserve a dub because they both will be getting manipulated by this maze. And despite going in first, they're just going to get lost, right? They're just going to get lost. So I'm putting Strange down here, and I'm actually going to put Howl even below him because Howl is even more lost than Strange. And Gandalf is currently sitting at the top. Now, Raistlin's going to be coming in. So Raistlin's coming in last, which is a severe disadvantage because all this has been going on, and he is just now getting into the picture. So he's going to come in, and he is going to be well equipped to deal with this. Now, he can lose himself for sure because he is also a flawed individual, but all his flaws are kind of perfect to resist the maze. The only thing the maze could possibly do to him probably is trick him into believing that he needs to do something that he doesn't. Maybe the maze is gonna put like an illusion version of the cup of the trophy, and maybe he'll go to the wrong place. But I mean, he's gonna be able to resist this sort of thing. I mean, he's a wizard. Like, he's got. They're all wizards, right? But he's a D&D wizard, right? There's a lot of spells that he can cast going into this to do pretty much anything he needs to do. I mean, if plants attack him, those are gone. If something attacks his mind, I mean, he can give himself resistance to that sort of thing. There's protective spells. He can guide himself. I don't know, guiding lights or whatever the spell would be in Dungeons and Dragons to guide him. I know there's multiple. Let's just say that he's going to be giving himself, you know, an extra D4 to his ability checks, right? So, yeah, he's probably going to make it through, but he's not going to make it through at an exceptionally fast pace. He's going to be kind of problem solving his way through this, casting lots of spells, spending lots of spell slots, but he'll have enough. And he's going to make it to the end if no one makes it there first. So that's really the question. So because I think Strange and Howl are losing themselves here, and actually before I get into that, obviously Howl is. Strange will probably be able to break the spell and get out of it. He's done that in multiple circumstances, but I don't think he's going to be quick enough is the problem. So I think it really comes down to Raistlin versus Gandalf, and unfortunately, I'm going to give it to Raistlin. And hear me out. The reason is Raistlin will not be bothering himself with helping anyone. He has the mission on the front of his mind, and in fact, he has it on the entirety of his mind. He does not care what happens to the other people here, and he will, by any means necessary, win. So that is going to give him a massive advantage over Gandalf in this case. Gandalf sees the big picture of things, and unfortunately, the big picture in this case is probably saving people's lives, right? Does it really matter if you won the tournament if you let 2 people die, right? Gandalf is not going to believe so. So Gandalf is going to help Strange and Howl, and that's probably going to be a time-consuming, endeavor. And in the process, Raistlin is going to just slip through the cracks and win. And I am locking that in. I really think, now that I've said it out loud, that is what happens. I think the only thing that could have happened differently is Strange, if he was able to resist, could have quickly won by just being able to go in first. And I think Howl was really close to going in first, but Howl just had no chance of winning this entire tournament purely because of the maze. You could give Howl 1,000,000 years, and I think he's the worst candidate to break the mental spell. Like, he gets better in the movie, like his character arc is good in that sense, but it's not good enough, right? It's not good enough. So Howl never was winning this. Gandalf could win it if he wasn't such a good person, especially with Gandalf and Howl in the same tournament. If we do this video again with different people and Gandalf somehow gets back in here, maybe he'll win, but that's just how it goes. So I think Strange was the only one that could have won, but I still am going to put my money on Raistlin. Raistlin just has such versatility, so many spells. Like, I don't even know them all. And trust me, I know about D&D. And I can't even begin to list all the spells that he would have. So he's doing fine. He's making it to the end, and because Gandalf is too nice, he's getting there first. And that's it. That's the answer. I'm leaving it at that. If you want to do this again, I rather enjoyed this a lot, actually. I would love to pick another 4. If there's any on the list from the beginning, I can throw it up again, that you think could be put on here. Actually, one I was just thinking about was Alex from Wizards of Waverly Place. I just like the funny ones. You know what I mean? Like, she's got a lot of spells, and I would just like to think through that and to see how she does here, because she's gone through a lot of wizard things. But anyway, that's my childhood Disney Channel self coming out. But that's it. Raistlin wins. I'm leaving it at that. And I do want to say that the way I came up with this idea here is I did get a leak that there is some form of test that is being put on powered individuals. I don't think they are from this planet, but that is essentially what I've been seeing, and I'm emulating that here, if that makes sense. I know I'm being vague, but it's on purpose. We don't have enough bandwidth yet to really risk any further leaks, but I'm getting too far into this. Thank you for watching. This is the second video. I plan to make more and more. I would like to promise every week, but don't hold me to that. But I would like to promise it. But yeah, throw in a comment. That's really all I would like you to do, if you can. Just tell me what you thought, or tell me a wizard that you know of that would, possibly be a fun addition to this video series. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. That is it. And for now, don't forget, we are not the only ones experimenting.